Shana Tova, we're so glad that you are with us this morning. I share with you these words that are written by Rabbi Jen Gubitz. I think often we offer the words as rabbis that we most need to hear, so I lovingly share these with you. Hello couch, hello kitchen table, hello backyard. I look around my house and I greet these ordinary objects. We have spent more time together these past months than usual. Thank you for being an oasis of comfort and safety. You have worked so hard to hold me day in and day out. How can we allow you and me to rest and restore and return on this most sacred day? I transform with my desire for the change I wish to see in myself. You, dear couch, table, backyard, you are now my sacred space, my mikdash me'at, a sanctuary where I will allow myself to become present to my breath, to turn down the noise of the world, and to turn up the volume of my prayers. Shana Tova, dear couch. Good Yontif, dear kitchen table. Gamar Tov, dear backyard. In this holy space that is my home, I pursue my desire to become whole. We invite you, please, in your mikdash me'at, in your holy and your sacred spaces, to join us in prayer, in song, in spirit, as we worship together. Please, where you see a prayer that is familiar to you, a song or a passage, please do join with us, and we bridge the gap between us, making these holy spaces our collective whole. Let us continue praying together. You have taught us, guard yourselves well, take good care of your lives. Your word calls to us, do no harm to yourself, do not weaken or exhaust yourself. In gratitude for the gift of our bodies, we pray for a year of renewed health and replenished strength. May caring for our bodies become our daily practice. May we be attentive to our need for proper food, sleep, and exercise. Let no injury come to others through our acts or failure to act, but let our mitzvah be this, to build a just society in which care is a birthright and the blessing of health the responsibility of all. Baruch atah Adonai, rofechol basar umaflila asot. We praise you, Holy One, for wondrous acts of creation and healing. Join us, please, as we continue singing together Psalm 150. We offer our praise.
Hallelujah. Beloved friend who calls us to conscience, reminds us of our own strength, invites us to grow, empowers us to act. Cosmic mysteries are yours, but the earth is ours to tend and heal as best we can. Beloved partner in creation, we join our strength with yours to make you real and true.
Baruch atah Adonai, El melech gadol b'tishbachot, El hahodaot, Adon haniflaot, Habocher b'shirei zimra melech el chei ha'olamim. Blessed are you, Adonai, sovereign of praise, source of the impulse to give thanks, crown of wonders who desires a world filled with song and a universe of life. We continue with our call to worship the Baruch Hu, and we invite you, please, in body or in spirit, to rise. Or chadash al Tzion ta'ir, v'nizchechu lanu mehera le'oro. May you shine a new light on Zion, and may we soon be privileged to share in that light. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer hamerot. Bring us in peace from the four corners of the earth. Lead us with upright pride to the land that is ours, for you are a God of miracles and wonders. From all the peoples of the earth you sought us out and brought us near to your great enduring truth. So with love we acknowledge and proclaim that you are one. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher be'amo Yisrael be'ahava. Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך, בכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בהם בשבתך, בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Let us continue reading together. Where does Israel get the courage, the chutzpah, to go on believing in redemption in a world that knows mass hunger, political exile, and war? How can Jews testify to hope and human value when they have been continuously persecuted, hated, expelled, destroyed out of the memories of the Exodus?
ופדאינו מלך יהודה בישראל, גואלינו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני, God Israel.
In body or in spirit, we invite you please to rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Belohei Avoteinu v'Imateinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanara El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Koneh HaKol v'Zocher Hasdei Avot Tzvi Mahat ומביא גאולה לבני ולהם למען שמו באהבה. זוכרנו לחיים ולחפץ בחיים וכתבנו בספר חיים. זוכרנו לחיים ולחפץ בחיים וכתבנו Hoshia Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham Ezrat Sarah, atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayeh hakol atah raf lehoshia morit hatal. מחלקל חיים בחסד, מחייך הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים רפא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. Amen.
Please be seated.
The Unatana Tokef prayer is stirring, chilling, and difficult always, but especially this year. To the words of our traditional liturgy, we consider adding these words written by Rabbi Joseph Mesler, which focuses on the writing of our own book of life for God to read. On Rosh Hashanah it is written, on Yom Kippur it is sealed, that this year people will live and die, some more gently than others, and nothing lives forever. But amidst overwhelming forces of nature and humankind, we still write our own book of life, and our actions are the words in it, and the stages of our lives are the chapters, and nothing goes unrecorded ever. Every deed counts, everything you do matters, and we never know what act or word will leave an impression or tip the scale. So if not now, then when? For the things we can change, there is teshuvah, realignment. For the things we cannot change, there is tefillah, prayer. For the help we can give, there is tzedakah, justice. Together, let us write a beautiful book of life for the Holy One to read.
Unatana tokef kedushat hayom. Let us proclaim the power of this day, a day whose holiness awakens deepest awe and inspires highest praise for your dominion. For your throne is a throne of love. Your reign is a reign of truth. In truth you are judge and plaintiff, counselor and witness. You inscribe and seal, you record and recount. You remember all that we have forgotten. And when you open the book of memories, it speaks for itself. For every human hand leaves its mark and imprint like no other.
rosh hashanah yekatevun yekatevun v'yom tzom kippur yechatemun yechatemun berosh hashanah yekatevun yekatevun v'yom tzom kippur yechatemun yechatemun berosh hashanah yekatevun yekatevun v'yom tzom kippur yechatemun yechatemun yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai yai lai yai lai lai yai lai yai
On Rosh Hashanah, this is written. On the fast of Yom Kippur, this is sealed. How many will pass away from this world? How many will be born into it? Who will live and who will die? Who will reach the ripeness of age? Who will be taken before their time? Who by fire and who by water? Who by war and who by beast? Who by famine and who by drought? Who by earthquake and who by plague? Who by strangling and who by stoning? Who will rest and who will wander? Who will be tranquil and who will be troubled? Who will be calm and who tormented? Who will live in poverty and who in prosperity? Who will be humbled and who exalted?
Uteshuva, utefila, utsedaka, hamavirin et roh hagezerah.
But through return to the right path, through prayer and righteous giving, we can transcend the harshness of the decree. We continue together with the Kedusha. We sanctify your name in the world, as celestial song sanctifies you in realms beyond our world, in the words of your prophet, "Holy, holy, holy is the God of heaven's hosts. The fullness of the whole earth is God's glory. God of strength who gives us strength, God of might who gives us might. How magnificent the signs of your being throughout the earth. Blessed is the splendor that shines forth from the eternal. Our God is one, Avinu and Malkeinu, sovereign source of life and liberation, revealing with mercy to all who live. I am Adonai, your God. The eternal shall reign for all time, your God for all generations. Zion. Hallelujah.
We are gifts and we are blessings. We are history in song. We are hope and we are healing. We are learning to be strong.
Kadosh Ata Benora Shemecha, Ve'en Eloah Mibaladecha, Kakatuv, Vayikba Adonai Tzavaot Bamishpat, V'ha'el HaKadosh Nikdash Bitzdaka. You are holy, your name is Ah. There is nothing divine beyond you. As the prophet Isaiah taught, the source of all might is exalted through justice, the God of holiness made holy through righteousness. Baruch atah Adonai, HaMelech HaKadosh. Blessed are you, Adonai, Holy Sovereign. Amen.
You chose us with love to be messengers of mitzvot, and through us you made known your aspirations. Among all the many peoples, you gave us a pathway to holiness. Among all the great nations, you uplifted us and made yourself our sovereign. And so we seek you and serve you, and celebrate our nearness to your presence. Your great and sacred name has become our calling. Our God, and God of the generations before us, may a memory of us ascend and come before you. May it be heard and seen by you, winning your favor and reaching your awareness, together with the memory of our ancestors, the memory of your sacred city, Jerusalem, and the memory of your people, the family of Israel. May we be remembered for safety, well-being, and favor, for love and compassion, for life, and for peace on this day of remembrance. Zochreinu Adonai Eloheinu bo letovah. Amen. Ufokteinu vo livracha. Amen. V'hoshi'enu vo lechayim. Amen. Eternal our God, remember us. Amen. Be mindful of us. Amen. And redeem us for a life of goodness and blessing. Amen. The Aleinu was originally composed for this holy day in our calendar. So today, on Rosh Hashanah, it is called the Aleinu Hagadol, the Great Aleinu. Not only do we bow, but traditionally we'd put our bodies in full prostration, knees first, then hands, then forehead. We invite you to rise in body or in spirit, and if you'd like, we also invite you to find a small piece of floor or space in front of you so you could prostrate as you feel comfortable alongside us to this prayer.
Aleinu, l'shalom.
We continue with the blessings for the sounding of the shofar.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lishmoa kol shofar. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam sheheyanu v'kimanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh.
Tekiah. Shavarim teruah. Tekiah. Tekiah. Shavarim. Tekiah. Tekiah. Teruah. Tekiah. Please be seated.
Baruch atah Adonai, melech al kol haaretz, mekadesh Yisrael v'yom hazikaron. Our praise to you, Eternal One, whose power pervades all the earth. You bring holiness to the people Israel, and to this day of remembrance. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael, u'tefilatam be'ahava, tekabel beratzon, u'tihi l'ratzon tamid, avodat Yisrael amecha. El karov l'chol korav, pinei el avadecha bechonenu, shefoch ruchacha aleinu, v'techazena einenu, v'shuvacha l'tzion berachamim. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir shechinato l'tzion. Blessed are you, whose divine presence is felt again in Zion.
Giver of life and all good gifts, grant us also wisdom to use only what we need, courage to trust your bounty, imagination to preserve our resources, determination to deny frivolous excess, and inspiration to sustain through temptation. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'cha na'eh lehodot. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose goodness deserves thanks and praise.
Our God, divine presence, whose path our ancestors walked, bless us now with words first bestowed on Israel in the time of Moses and Aaron, the threefold blessing given us through Torah that joins our hopes with theirs.
Yebarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. Yer Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May you know God's blessings of shelter and care. May you receive the light of God's kindness and grace. May you see God's favor and goodness, and may you partake of God's peace. As these words reverberate, we continue in silence, in meditation, in prayer.
shalom, sim shalom, sim shalom, tova uvracha, hein v'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, barakenu avinu kulanu kechad be'or panecha, ki be'or panecha natata lanu Adonai Eloheinu. Sim shalom, sim shalom, sim shalom, sim shalom, tova uvracha, hein v'chesed v'rachamim v'rachamim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. Torat chaim, v'ahavat chesed, avdecha v'racha, v'rachamim v'chaim v'shalom. Sim shalom, sim shalom, sim shalom, sim shalom, tova uvracha, hein v'chesed v'rachamim v'rachamim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל. בכל לטיפו ראשה בשלומך. שים שלום, שים שלום, שים שלום, שים שלום, טובה וברכה, hein v'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. Sim shalom, sim shalom, sim shalom, sim shalom, tova uvracha, hein v'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. Baruch atah Adonai, hamavaret et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Sim shalom, sim shalom, sim shalom.
Let us turn our prayers to the great many who are in need at this time as we say, Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah hu yivarech v'yirapeh et hacholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors bring the blessing of health to those who are ill and those who are hurting. Let us hold in our hearts and our prayers all those who are struggling and who are in need of strength and healing and patience and courage. As we say, bless all those who put themselves at risk to care for the sick, who navigate the unfolding dangers of the world each day to tend to those they have sworn to help. Bless them in their coming home and bless them in their going out. Ease their fear, sustain them, source of all breath, healer of all beings. Protect them and restore their hope. Strengthen them that they may bring strength. Keep them in health that they may bring healing. Help them know again a time when they can breathe without fear. Bless the sacred work of their hands. For all who are experiencing weakness of body or weakness of spirit, all those whom you love, let strength and renewal come soon. Let us join together in saying, Amen. We continue now with our Seder Kriyat HaTorah, our service for the reading of Torah. This morning we will be reading from Breshit, from the book of Genesis. If ever there was a time for us to explore more deeply creation and our hand in being partners in creation, this is that time. We continue now with our Seder Kriyat Torah.
For the first Aliyah, we call Jean Schwartz. Yamot le'aliyah le'torah rishonah.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamavoroch. Baruch Adonai Hamavoroch le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bo chabonu mikol ha'amim. V'notan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Breshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Ve'aretz hayta tohu va'vohu ve'choshech al pnei tehom. Ve'ruach Elohim merahefet al pnei hamayim. Vayomer Elohim yeh or vehi or. Vayar Elohim et haor ki tov. Vayavdel Elohim bein haor ubein hachoshech. Vayikra Elohim lahor yom v'lachoshech kara laila. Vayhi erev vayhi boker yom echad. Vayomer Elohim yehi rakia betoch hamayim. Vihi mavdil bein mayim lamayim. Vayas Elohim et harakia vayavdel bein hamayim asher mitachat larakia ubein hamayim asher me'al larakia. Vayehi chen vayikra Elohim larakia shamayim. Vehi erev vehi boker yom sheni.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher notan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam notah b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
For the second Aliyah, we call Lauren Lieberman. Tamot le'aliyah le'torah shniya.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvarach. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Vayomer Elohim yikavu hamayim mitachat hashamayim el makom echad v'tera'eh hayabasha vayehi chen vayikra Elohim lebasha eretz ulemikveh hamayim kara yamim. Vayar Elohim ki tov. Vayomer Elohim tache haaretz deshe esef mazriya zera etz peri yoseh peri lemino asher zarovo al haaretz vehi chen. Vatotze haaretz desher esef mazriya zera leminehu ve'etzoseh peri asher zarovo leminehu. Vayar Elohim ki tov. Vehi erev vehi voker yom shlishi. ויאמר אלוהים יהי מאורות ברכי השמיים להבדיל בין היום ובין הלילה, והיו לאותות ולמועדים ולימים ושנים, והיו למאורות ברכי השמיים להאיר על הארץ, ויהי כן. ויעש אלוהים את שני המאורות הגדולים, את המאור הגדול לממשלת היום, ואת המאור הקטון לממשלת הלילה, ואת הכוכבים ויתן אותם אלוהים ברכי השמיים להאיר על הארץ, ולשמור ביום ובלילה, ולהבדיל בין האור ובין החושך. וירא אלוהים כי טוב. ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר יום רביעי.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chaye olanu notan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
For the third Aliyah, we call Linda champion. Tamot l'Aliyah l'Torah shlishit.
Baruch et Adonai hambarach, Baruch Adonai hambarach li'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Vayomer Elohim yishretzu hamayim sheretz nefesh chaya, ve'of yofeb al haaretz al pnei rekia hashamayim. Vayivra Elohim et hatnanim hagdolim, ואת כל נפש החיה הרומסת, אשר שרצו המים למיניהם, ואת כל עוף כנף למיניהו. וירא אלוהים כי טוב. ויברך אותם אלוהים לאמור, פרורבו ומילאו את המים בימים, והעוף ירב בארץ. ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר יום חמישי.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chaye olam natan v'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
We continue with Avinu Malkeinu, and we invite you, please, in body or in spirit, to rise. Avinu Malkeinu Shema Kolenu. Avinu Malkeinu Almighty and merciful, hear our voice. Avinu Malkeinu Chatanu Lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed and sinned before you. Avinu Malkeinu Chamol Aleinu Ve'al Ol Aleinu Ve'tapenu. Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and on our families. Avinu Malkeinu Kale Dever Ve'cherev Ve'ra'av Me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the onslaught of sickness, violence, and hunger. Avinu Malkeinu kalei kol tsar umastin me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the reign of those who cause pain and terror. Avinu Malkeinu kotbenu b'sefer chaim tovim. Avinu Malkeinu, enter our names in the book of lives well lived. Avinu Malkeinu, chadesh aleinu shana tova. Avinu Malkeinu, renew for us a year of goodness. Avinu Malkeinu, chanenu ve'anenu, ki ein banu ma'asim, aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, answer us with grace, for our deeds are wanting. Save us through acts of justice and love.
Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu v'Haneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu v'Haneinu, ki ein banu ma'asim. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu v'Haneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu v'Haneinu, ki ein banu
You may be seated. With all our lives being affected by the pandemic, this year has been hard. It can feel like we're missing out on a lot of our routine, no longer being able to visit family or friends, grandparents and grandparents not seeing their kids who live far away, missing gathering in person or having dinners with friends at home, wondering what the school year will look like with virtual learning. At times, we wish we could return to Shuvah, to the beginning, before COVID happened, when things seemed better. Yet, so many of us are aware that we will not be returning to normal for a long time, if ever. Even before COVID, our world was torn in so many pieces. As poet and activist Sonia Renee Taylor teaches us, we will not go back to normal. Normal never was. Our pre-corona existence was not normal, other than we normalized greed, inequity, exhaustion, and so much more. We are being given the opportunity to stitch a new garment, one that fits all of humanity and nature. A few months ago, I was given the unexpected opportunity to stitch a new garment, to move forward, instead of staying with a feeling that was uncomfortable. For over a decade, I was holding on to negative feelings about the Jewish summer camp I attended because of the homophobia and bullying that I experienced as a camper. Out of the blue, I received an email and was invited to be part of a camp alumni Zoom call. There, a friend and I spoke about our experiences, suggesting that they use this year of virtual camp as an opportunity for reflection and growth, addressing the racism and homophobia that was allowed to stay dormant when we were campers. We suggested a virtual Pride Shabbat. To my surprise, this was met with immediate positivity and support. A few weeks later, I witnessed LGBTQ alumni campers and teens singing their hearts out, reading queer Jewish liturgy and poems, wearing rainbow and tie-dye. I knew that I could never return back in time and be an out and proud kid or teen like those campers. I could never have the joy and acceptance they had by the same camp. Nor could I return to my real past self and tell her to be herself and be strong. But now I was no longer stuck in my old sentiments. I could move forward. I could address negative feelings of past that have remained to the present and offer a space for healing and growth for myself and a future generation. Let us reflect for a moment on our Torah. We read this morning from the book of Bereshit, Creation. In the beginning, God created day and night, heaven, earth, and seas, plants, fruits, and trees. God brought forth living creatures, beasts, insects, and then God created human in the divine image. God saw that all God created was good. As we know from our story, the purity of mankind did not last. Humans gained the recognition of good and evil from eating from the tree of knowledge, and as a result, entered a complex and chaotic world so new to their mind. Many Jews believe that when the Messiah comes, we will finally return to the days of the Garden of Eden and be freed from knowing evil or depravity. Reform Judaism tends to shy away from this theology, recognizing that for any new world to come, we must make this world we are living in better each day for ourselves and the future generations. We shouldn't focus on longing for the past when the present is tangible and the future is malleable. In some ways, it is in more of our control. When God says, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness. They shall rule the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, the cattle, the whole earth, and the creeping things," God is blessing us to have free will, to control over ourselves and other things, and to work in partnership with one another and with God. Although Adam and Eve reached a point of no return, God saw what God made in God's image was still good, because perhaps they had a way to move forward, stitching a new garment for themselves and the next generation. From that point, humans were able to make conscious choices at every moment to do the right thing. So, what does teshuvah, return, mean when we can't return to the way things were before? Doing teshuvah each year does not mean that we have to turn back to a certain time of the past, as that past is long gone. Rather, teshuvah offers us an opportunity to both look ahead and return to our best selves in the present. Whether it be for us, for others, or for future generations, we have the opportunities to better know ourselves and to build a better world. Let us all stitch and try on many new garments this year. There may be relationships that you've been meaning to work on and mend, and now may be the time. You might find new opportunities to participate in necessary anti-racism work in your community. Or maybe you haven't picked up your flute or guitar in years and it's time to practice again. Maybe you pick up the phone and talk to someone who's lonely, or find small ways to make someone else's day brighter. And with work, so many of our jobs in flux, we can think, who am I if I'm not working or not able to work like I used to? Who can I be, and where do I place myself in this world? Sonia Renee Taylor continues, "We have nothing but the opportunity to reinvent ourselves. If space and possibility is open right now, we have some choice about what we would like to see put in it. We are at a tough time, but I believe that it's possible to really activate what I like to call our liberatory imaginations to what it is that will deeply bring us joy. By taking opportunities to stitch our new garments, we not only learn about ourselves and what makes us happy, but move forward with positive change, bringing us closer to a better world. Now is the time that together we can move forward in our work in this world, in the path and partnership that God gave us from the days of our creation, and in what I hope will be a better year next year. L'Shana Tova.
We continue with our concluding prayers with the Elenu, and we invite you, please, in body or in spirit, to rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא עשנו לשומרי הרמה, והוא שמנו לשליחי התורה, שהוא שם חיינו איתם, וגורלנו עם כל העולם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts turn to loved ones whom death has taken from us in recent days, and those who died at this season in years past. Our hearts open as well to the wider, much wider circles of loss in our community and wherever grief touches the human family. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing in this new year and always. We join together in the words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei rabbah, ve'alma divrach yerotei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam ulmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudasha b'richu. Le'ela u'le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru, amen. May the source of peace bestow peace on all who mourn, and may we be a source of comfort to all who are bereaved, as we all of us join together in saying, amen. And please be seated. We share with you some brief announcements this morning. On Wednesday, we have religious school starting at 4:30 p.m. and our adult education Musar class at 7 p.m. On September 25th, we have our Erev Shabbat service at 6 p.m., and then on Saturday morning, regular Torah study at 9:15 and Shabbat morning services at 10:30. And then on Sunday, September 27th, please join us for Kol Nidre services, which will begin at 8 p.m., but preceded by our food drive from 4 to 6 p.m., ordinarily held at the JCC. But please take special note that we are having a collection here at Temple from 4 to 6 p.m., and the goal is for us to raise at least 2,000 pounds, maybe even to surpass that in this year. For the Brighton Food Cupboard. We invite you, please, to bring your non-perishable goods. You will see a listing of items that the food pantry is in need of collecting, and we ask you, please, from 4 to 6 to bring that to Temple. And on Monday, September 28th, we have our full lineup of services, which you can find on our website and in snippets as well, with our Young Family service at 9:30 a.m., our traditional service at 10 a.m., our music, meditation, and dialogue for our teens at 10:30 a.m., and our family and contemporary service at 11:30 a.m. All of that is followed at 2 p.m. with our Torah reading and Torah study, again with our student Rabbi Leah Nussbaum at 2 p.m., and we hope that you can join us then. On Yom Kippur afternoon, please note that our Yisker Memorial Service will begin at 4 p.m. and Ne'ilah at 5:15. Special thank you to Cantor Renata Braun, to our student Rabbi Leah Nussbaum, to Irina Lupinus, to Ilan Adar for his always stirring sounding of the shofar, to our temple office staff for all of their preparation day in and day out, to Lindsay Hagan and Wendy Beller-Madway and the entire Religious Practices Committee, for Ellen Goldenberg and Lindsay Hagan and all of their work putting together our honors, to Rick Rizzo and Bruce Dunn, without whose expertise and extensive audio-video expertise and patience and genius, none of this would have been possible. We thank you. Yehi ratzon milfanecha Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, shetechadesh aleinu shana tova u'mituka. Our God and God of our ancestors, eternal God of all generations, may your presence in our lives this new year renew our spirits and renew our strength. May it be a good year. May it be a healthy year. May it be a sweet year. For the last sounding of the shofar, we invite you, please, to rise. Tekiah Gedolah.
We wish you and those you love a Shana Tova U'Mituka, a sweet new year filled with good health, good spirits, and peace.
לשנה טובה תיכתבו, לשנה טובה תיכתבו, לשנה